Alright gents, I want to speak about something very, very important in this video. And that important point is that success is a lagging indicator of your habits. So let me break this down for you because it's very, very important. And by the end of the video, you're going to be enlightened. It's going to change the way you see success forever because it changed the way that I see success. And every high level guy that I speak to also understands this concept. So I remember I was in university and I was making YouTube videos and it wasn't really going that well. I had just started to meditate, I had just started to get into diet, I had just started to take my training and my nutrition seriously. I started to take my sleep and my productivity seriously. I started learning all about productivity, sleep, all these good habits, and I started to implement them into my life. And what I started to notice was that I wasn't really getting the results. I wasn't really getting the results from meditation. I was promised more clarity and more mental strength, but I wasn't really seeing the results. I was promised that when I became productive and worked on a high leverage task, that I would get success and I would earn money, but I wasn't seeing the results. And I thought to myself, why is this? What is happening here? My habits are top tier. My habits are so locked in. Why am I not being successful? Why am I not getting the results that I want? And I remember vividly sitting in my university dorm room and I watched a video from Sam Ovens. Sam Ovens is an amazing entrepreneur. He's the creator of School and he also made like hundreds of millions from his old business, consulting.com, which Iman Gadzhi has now purchased. So Sam Ovens knows what he's talking about when it comes to business and entrepreneurship, right? So you should probably listen to what he says. And I remember specifically in this video, he mentioned how success is a lagging indicator of your habits. And what this means is that you can have all the greatest habits. You can be waking up, not going on your phone, getting sunlight, drinking 4 litres of water per day, exercising, 10,000 steps, meditation, working on your business, being productive, no junk food, no social media, reading books. You can have all these amazing habits, but you won't see the results of them until the future because your habits are a leading indicator of success, and success is a lagging indicator of habits. So what this means is that, for example, if we had a graph, if I could graph this out and draw it out for you, what this means is that when you have all these good habits here, say for example, we're in the month of January, and you're having all these good habits, the results of these good habits, the results of the meditation, the productivity, the business skills, the reading books, the consuming knowledge, the good diet, nutrition, training, the results of all these habits, you won't start seeing them until maybe 3, 6, maybe even 12 months later. And depending on what area of life it is, it can be very, very different. This timescale can be very, very different. So for example, in fitness, why people get addicted to fitness so much and when people start going to the gym, they very rarely quit the gym is because of the fast feedback loop. Because when you have the habit of going to the gym and training, it's a very, very quick feedback loop. You get to see the results of your training and your nutrition very, very quickly. If you start to get in a calorie deficit today and you train to 100% intensity today and you get 10,000 steps every single day, within 2 weeks you're going to make progress. Within 2 weeks you're going to look in the mirror and you're going to think, oh shit, I can actually see a bit of my pec. Oh wow, my veins are starting to pop on my arm a little bit. Oh, my face is starting to get a little bit leaner. I can start to see the results in just a couple of weeks, maybe a month. You start to see the results very, very quickly. But when it comes to different habits like business and productivity and sales, these things usually take a lot longer. So you could be like me, making YouTube videos in my university dorm room and not see results for a year, 3 years, 5 years maybe. Because business is a different category altogether. And business has a lot longer lag than fitness does. Fitness is still a lag because when you go to the gym today, you're not going to see the results until maybe a month down the line. But business is a lot longer lag because if you work on your business today, you're probably not going to see results for another year or maybe 3 years or maybe 5 years. But the beauty about business is those results are much bigger because of the gap in time, because of the gap in the habit to success gap. So the reason I explain this to you and why I think this is so profound, because there's so many young guys who understand self-development, they understand self-improvement, they understand that they need these good habits, they understand that reading a book is way better than watching a movie, they understand that not watching porn is very good for their mental and physical health, they understand that having a clean diet is way better for their physique and their health overall. They understand these things. One sec. No. Sorry, boys. I'm expecting a parcel to come. I don't know what time is coming. But yeah, with self-improvement, you understand these habits are good. But I think a lot of guys are getting disencouraged. They're getting a bit worked up, to be honest. I'm starting to notice the guys that I talk to on a daily basis and the guys that are in the community and that I talk to on calls, I'm starting to notice that their motivation is starting to fade. That slight bit of doubt has crept in, and they're starting to think, maybe self-improvement doesn't work. Maybe self-development doesn't work. And they've become a little bit nihilistic. They start to think to themselves, well, what's the point in all of this? It's not working for me. I'm not seeing any results in my business. Maybe I should just quit and get a job like everyone else tells me to do. But the problem is, you haven't understood the lead and lag indicators. You haven't understood the lead indicators of habits and the lag indicators of success. And you understand to an extent delaying gratification, but we're talking about something a lot deeper than delaying gratification. We're talking about something a lot more practical and quantitative than delaying gratification. And you need to understand this. You need to understand that the habits that you have today are not going to affect you today. They're not going to affect you in 6 months. You're doing them for you in 5 years. Because I promise you, when you stay on this path, when you stay on the path of self-development, trying to get better every day, locked in with your nutrition every day, locked in with your fitness, locked in on your business, on your 9 to 5, working hard every single day, you in 10 years are going to be stood in your huge kitchen, in your beautiful house, in that city you've always wanted to live in. You're going to be stood in your kitchen. The sun is going to be shining through the window. Your beautiful children are going to be running around, playing with your dog, and your wife is going to be stood 2 feet away from you, cooking a lovely dinner. Your beautiful 10 out of 10 stunning wife is going to be there. Your beautiful children are going to be running around. Maybe your parents have come over for food. And you're going to stop. You're going to snap into consciousness. And you're going to think, thank you. Thank you, me 10 years ago, for sticking to the habits. Thank you for me 10 years ago for not being nihilistic. Thank you for me 10 years ago for understanding that success is a lagging indicator of my habits. And thank God I stuck to those habits. Thank God I stuck to business and the path of trying to become a better man for me and my family, because look where I am today. Look at all these assets I have. Look at my beautiful wife, my beautiful children, my beautiful dog. Look at my beautiful home. Thank you, me 10 years ago, for meditating every single day. Thank you, me 10 years ago, for going to the gym every single day, even if I didn't want to. Thank you for me 10 years ago, who would sit there and get 10 views on their video. Thank you for me 10 years ago, for continuing down the path of self-development and trying to get better as a man, because look where I am today. And that's how it works. That's how success works. That's what a lot of young guys don't understand. I've spoken to so many guys across the spectrum of success. I've spoken to guys who are multi-millionaires. I've spoken to guys who are dead broke, fat, overweight, ugly. I've spoken to them all in between. Everyone. And what they understand, what the successful guys understand, is that they are where they are today because of what they did in the past. And what the guys who are in a not so good position don't understand is that, well, to be honest, they too are where they are today because of what they did in the past. So you right now, you in this current moment, are shaping the future you. That's how it works. That's how success works. And success, we've all seen that hockey stick graph, right? Where you're making little progress, little bits of progress. And then suddenly the exponential curve kicks in. And you make double the progress, and you make quadruple the progress, and then you make 100x the progress. And you think to yourself, this success thing is so easy. Going from 100k a month to 200k a month is so easy. Why can't I have done this in the past? But going from 0 to 2,000 a month, that's the hard part. That is the toughest part. I remember we read a book in school once. It was called Holes. I know, kids reading about holes. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, get the jokes in. Yeah. But it was called Holes. And what this guy kept on trying to say to this new guy, you can go read the book or watch the movie, I don't know. It was a pretty shit book. But what I remember specifically, I don't know why I remember this, but it's brought me here to this moment. I remember in the book, there's an older guy who had worked digging holes for years, and these new recruits had just come in. And he would say to them, your first hole dug is always the hardest. And that's how success works, that's how life works. The first time you do something is always the hardest. The first 5k is way harder to achieve than the next 5k, right? Getting into good shape is way harder at the start than it is at the end, because you've got so many new factors, you've got so much more knowledge, you've got so much more experience, you've got so much more intuition further down the line, that it's just going to get easier as you go along. So you need to understand that now is the hardest it will ever be. And if you can do it now, if you can have these good habits now, then imagine you in the future. It's going to be a cruise. It's going to be easy. So please understand this. Understand that success is a lagging indicator of the habits that you do today. So the habits you do today, the meditation, the reading, the working on your business, those results are not going to show for another 6, 12, 5 years maybe. But what you can count on is them working eventually. 100%. You know that they are going to work. And this is how I've stuck to my business. This is how I've stuck to my fitness. This is how I've stuck to everything. I think to myself every single day, if I uploaded a YouTube video once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week for 10 years, what are the chances that my YouTube channel is going to be good? What's the chances that I'm going to build an audience? What's the chances that I'm going to be able to build an audience that I can sell to and make money? What are the chances? If I did it every single week for 10 years, you'd think to yourself, well, it's pretty high, right? So just do it every single day for 10 years. Stop worrying about when the success is going to come, because you understand now that the habits are a leading indicator of success. So I know that I might not get the results from YouTube or business until 5, 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line maybe. But that doesn't bother me, because I know that every month, every year that goes by, I'm a little bit closer to that result. I'm a little bit closer to success. And that's all that I care about, is getting to success. Right? So understand that what you do now is going to shape what happens to you in the future. And you should not be discouraged by people telling you self-improvement doesn't work. People telling you, oh, you've been doing it for 6 months now and you've seen no results. Think to yourself, yeah, but I might see results next month. Or I might see results next year. I have to keep going. I have to keep on pushing, because what I'm doing now won't come to fruition until the future. I don't know what future date that is, but I can pretty much bank on the fact that it will come in the future. And that's all we've got as men. All we've got as men is hope and optimism for the future. That's what fills our veins and our blood, is hope and optimism for the future. And as soon as you lose that hope, as soon as you lose that optimism for the future, that's when it'll all go away. That's when it'll all come crashing down. That's when the depression kicks in. That's when the suicidal thoughts kick in. That's when you see those guys who are just let themselves go fat, obese, lonely. That's when you see those types of guys, because they lost hope. They lost ambition. They lost optimism. All you have as a man is optimism. Think about the Vikings. What did they have? All they had was optimism. There's a very, very good series on Netflix called Vikings. And the main guy, Ragnar, he said every year the Vikings used to sail towards Russia because they knew Russia was there. They knew land was there. And after 5, 6, 7 years of traveling to Russia, Ragnar, the guy with the fucking high testosterone, thought to himself, fuck it, I'm going to go the other way. And he managed to convince the guys with boats to let him sail the other way. And everyone was telling him, there's certain death, there's nothing over there. We know that Russia's over there. Why don't we just go to Russia and get all their loot? And he said to himself, but there might be land the other way. There might be something over there. And that's all he had. That's all the Vikings had back in the day. The guys who conquered land and got generational wealth for their families, that's all they had, is optimism and hope. And it's maybe. That's all it is. It's maybes. Okay, there might not be land out there. but maybe there will be land. Okay, I might not be successful, but maybe I will. Okay, my YouTube channel might not pop off and go viral, but maybe it will. And that's all you can have as a man, is that sentence there. Maybe it will. You need to get that fucking tattooed on you. Get it tattooed on your fucking arm here, so every day you wake up and you see, but maybe it will. Because that's all we have as a man. When you go to approach that girl, oh, she's going to reject you, she's way out your league, she's never going to give you her number, she's never going to go on a date with you. But maybe she will. That business is never going to work, you're never going to be successful, you're going to have to work a job for the rest of your life, that business is never going to make money. But maybe it will. That's all we have as a man, is the but maybe it will. That's what made the greatest men of all time. But maybe it will. That's what drove Churchill and Napoleon and Caesar. That's what drove them all, is the thought of, maybe it will work out. Okay, maybe not. Probably not. But maybe it will. So just hold on to that optimism. Hold on to the hope, because people will try and sap this hope away. Every single day people will try and sap this hope away from you. Your parents, not on purpose, will accidentally sap this hope away from you. The girls and the guys around you will try and sap this hope away from you. Why are you even trying that business, bro? It's not going to work. Why are you even trying to get better? Why are you trying to look better? It's not going to work. You can't look better. That's your genetics. Every day people, either on purpose or accidentally, will try and sap this hope and this optimism away from you. But all you need, when you go to lie in bed by yourself at night, you got to think to yourself, but maybe it will work. Maybe I can do that. Maybe I can achieve all the things that I want to. Maybe I can live that life. And you hold on to that optimism, you hold on to that hope for dear life, because it's all we have as men. Now, that was a bit of a motivational speech. I apologize, I didn't mean to get all motivational, but it's very true what I'm saying. And it ties into the crux and the point of this video, which is that success is a lagging indicator of your habits. So the habits that you do today will not come to fruition until the future. And like I said, different topics and different areas of life, they have a bit of a different kind of lead-in and lag indicator. This is something that I go into depth on in my community. But for this video, all you need to know is that what you do today won't come to fruition until the future. And that's okay, because you know that it's coming up. You know that it will happen, or at least there's a chance of it happening. And that's all you need as a man, is optimism and hope. Alright, gents. Have a good one.